back at it again today, trying to finish up these 3 nikiris I'm working on. This is kind of a template of what we're going for. For this particular nikiri, I had made one previously that I'm going to change the design on it a little bit. I'm going to forge down the handle. I may grind it down depending on the finished dimension of this once I'm done, to a hidden tang versus a full tang. I need to draw out the width of this blade a little bit, thin it out a little bit, and forge in a distal taper as well. So we'll get this in the forge, start bringing it up to temp. You may also see me working on a separate piece of steel. This one right here, we're working on a big Bowie knife. This is kind of what we're going for there, so we'll see how it goes. This right here won't take me very long, but since I've got the forge lit, I don't want to let the heat kind of go to waste, so I'll probably work for an hour, give or take. So I've got both burners going on my forge right now. We're just bringing it up to temp. What I'm going to end up doing is once I start getting closer to my forging temperature, I'll cut down one of the burners, save on gas a little bit. There's really no point in using both burners when you're only ever forging on an area about 4 to 6 inches anyways. It's a little warmer outside today than it was yesterday. So it'll heat up pretty good here really quickly. Alright, forge is coming up to temp. I'm going to go down to one burner. You'll probably hear the pitch change. Coming up to temp. Start flipping around a little bit. Make sure I get it pretty even. It's important to make sure you're kind of heating the steel evenly on both sides. Otherwise, you can end up putting more stress on one side than the other, and you'll end up with a pretty severe warp. A little warp isn't that bad. It can be fixed post heat treat. A bad warp can only be fixed by grinding or throwing the piece away. We'll probably start with the 6-pound forging hammer, just to move this steel much faster. There we go. Let's say that I've grabbed my hammer. Oh no, it's right here. Okay. Pick up a little bit more heat. That's not quite hot enough. Getting a lot of forge skill on it. I have forged on this piece previously, so I'll probably hit it with a brush and then start forging. Come out of it. When you first start forging for the day, the anvil's cool. It's ambient temperature, so it's about 60, 70 degrees. It tends to act as a heat sink, sucking the heat right out of your piece, especially if you're forging really thin stuff like that. So what we can do is we can kind of help it along, heat up the anvil a little bit. So it won't suck the heat out so bad. really nice and thin. We're shooting for about 1.5 to 2 millimeters, or about a 16th of an inch. Yeah, about a 16th of an inch. I got a chart over here on the wall. Did all the conversions for me quick. Pick a little bit more heat, we'll start working on the cutting edge now. Where I goobered up my hand last week, the skin's still a little soft and tender there. I might have to tape it up a little. I may end up taping it up here pretty soon just to make sure I don't mess it up even more. What we can do is rub a little bit of ash into it, and that'll cover it up until I can get it clean. Alright, we're getting some good heat into the piece now. Just another minute. Kind of gone out of it. Straighten it back out a little bit, pick up some more heat. Do one more pass on that side, and we'll flip it over to the same thing on the opposite side. Starting to get a little warm, that's good. I'll check my gas real quick. We're doing good. I know that propane tank's getting a little low. That'll probably be good for today, but I'll have to be swapped out here pretty soon. Alright, here we go. Alright, I'm going to do the same thing on the opposite side. This will likely overforge it a little bit. It'll end up being a little taller than we need it, but that's okay. It's already getting warm in here today. I'm just working this piece back and forth under the hot spot in the forge. There we go. Same thing on the opposite side. We're looking pretty good there. Then we can probably start I'll probably do one pass along the spine of the knife. Just to ensure we got a good distal taper in it. Cool these off a little bit. Working back and forth in the hot spot in the forge. Here we go. Straighten it out, break up a little bit more heat, do the same thing again. The key to accuracy when you're forging, move this camera around a little bit so you can see it. When you're hammering, you're not really moving the hammer a whole lot. Your goal is to hit the exact same spot on the anvil every time, and you're simply moving the workpiece underneath the hammer. As you develop some skill, some accuracy, and some strength, you can start moving the hammer a little bit as well. It's not a good idea to do that though. You can end up mishitting very, very bad and causing yourself a lot more heartache. Alright, the piece is almost up to 10. Planching it now, we'll use the 3.5 pound rounding hammer. Again, round sides for moving, flat sides for smoothing. We'll go over it with this side first. I have another rounding hammer as well. This side does, the flat side of this one does have a slight radius. This one is dead flat. I do have a new tool that would help with this. This flatter here, but using it the other day, I noticed that there were some hard corners on these edges that were leaving some artifacts into the workpiece, so I want to knock those off before I use this again. could wear a glove, but when I do that, I'll lose too much fidelity. I'll lose too much control. So I'd rather just use a little bit of tape. Yeah, that's all she wrote right there. The distal taper starting to come in really nice now. Start smoothing out the surface through the whole piece. Got the edges done, and ensuring that we have a nice even transition through the whole length of the blade. My forge is getting a little quiet. Yeah. Well, I'll be lucky to get this piece done. My forge gas is just about tapped out. The forge is going to start sputtering here any minute now. This particular process doesn't require a whole lot of heat to do, so not a big deal. That's pretty good. Switch over to the light hammer. My little 2-pound rounding hammer. Do a pass on each side on that, and this piece will more or less be done. Back in it. When you're planishing like this, I'm not really moving a lot of metal, just kind of smoothing out the surface. You don't need a whole lot of heat. It is good to keep some heat in it, that way you have a much lower risk of cracking it. Stick a little more heat in and do one more pass on this side. And this process will be done. The next thing will be just straightening the piece out. Just a little bit of heat in it now. You'll probably can't even see that. Yeah, just a little bit. That actually looks pretty straight. Just stick some heat in it. And we'll clamp it in the vise, make sure it's as straight as I can get it. That might not be enough heat to do this, but we'll see. That actually looks pretty good. All right, it's nice and straight. We'll stick it back in the forge. Still just a little bit of gas coming out. We got a lot of residual heat in the forge though, so we'll bring it up to temp and then we'll stick it in the bucket of ash. I could just leave it in the forge and once it comes up to temp, turn what little gas I have off and let it cool down with the forge. I would achieve more or less the same thing. Let me go shake the can a little bit, see if I can get any more out. No, that's pretty good though. We stick them pieces of scrap metal I've got in here, pick up some heat in them. Okay, yeah. All right, what I was just doing is checking the temp of it. It's looking like we were about just shy of 1600 degrees, which is good. Which we are. So what we'll do is we'll take those pieces of scrap steel I stuck in there. They'll get a little bit of heat in them. We'll put those in the ash to bring the ash up to temperature a little bit. And then we'll put the knife in there and allow it to cool down nice and slow. Those got a little bit of color in them. Take this and put it to rest. All right, that worked out perfectly. Just like the perfect amount of gas. That basically never happens. Alrighty. Open up the door, get a little ventilation. Alright, I think that's going to be it for the day. Got to get a little bit more propane. So appreciate y'all coming by. Hope y'all have a great day.